Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, starting on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. On the Command Junior Hana today is Isupk Atx Lashawan Qadash class, meaning Holy Tongue. Today's class is going to be about constructing sentences. We're going to start off part 1 with nouns. So we're going to do a series basically on constructing sentences. So the basics you need to know just are constructing sentences and speaking Hebrew, biblical Hebrew at that. Today's class, like I named it nouns. We might finish all about nouns because it's just basic principles. It's not in detail into each topic, but just everything as a whole. The next week we might go into each topic, more in depth of the nouns. Probably get into some vocabulary too. So last 10 minutes of class is going to be me writing words on the board so you can have for yourself the 100 most common nouns, right? I don't know. I would make a whole class about that just because it's like, just be out here writing, turn around, and you're just going to be copying, right? So with that, we're going to start off with nouns, right? Oh, first let's start off with Hebrew alphabet, right? And we don't really call these letters. Good night. What the hell? You know what we call them? Characters, right? So we got ba. God, I'm gonna try to write smaller today. Da, ha, right? Wa, doing pretty good already. Za, right? What's next?
What you say last?
Cha.
Ka.
What's next?
Ta.
Next.
Yeah.
Next.
Ka. La. Ma. Na. Sa. I. Pa.
Pa.
Pa. Taz. Qua. Ra. Sha. Da.
Let's see. I kind of wrote that. All right. So we got ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, cha, right? Ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na. What? Sa. Next.
I. Pa. Taza. Qua.
Okay. Qua,
Ra.
ra,
Sha.
sha, and all right. So these are the Hebrew characters, right? We always start off class with that. As you can see, Aba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Tha. Why do we call it characters? Because these make sounds. Hebrew language, speaking Hebrew is very easy because each character makes its own sound. Unlike English, you don't know what the hell how to pronounce it, right? Which is why somebody whose first language was Spanish or any other language, they come down here and some of their sentences, they will say words the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Because their principles in English don't never ever go with every single thing, right? It's not what's that word I'm looking for? Consistent. Yeah, English principles are not consistent, right? But Hebrew is, right? Meaning that this is always gonna be what? It's always gonna be You're never like, no, sometimes you say it like a ha ha. No, man, it's right? Very simple. So this is the ancient Hebrew, but of course through oppression, we really don't see this often, right? What do we see often? The Assyrian. The sister has said Yiddish. Yiddish is how you pronounce it, right? But so when we write these Assyrian, right, characters down, the so-called Jewish man, he pronounced it in his language, which is Yiddish, which is a mix of like, Hebrew, Aramaic is Hebrew, Aramaic, like Russian, Slovak, Russian stuff, you know what I mean? German stuff, right? Because the whole bunch of they heathens, man. There's a whole bunch of mixed up stuff, right? So it's a bastardized language. They try to bastard our language up, man. But they try to take our nationality, so they gotta take our language and make it their own. I'm looking for the eraser. I don't know where I put it. I got it. All right. So we're gonna erase this and gonna use do the Assyrian, right? I don't like to be so long with this, but since it was a new series we doing, I'll say, right? We're gonna start with the basics. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna write this down. Next classes I might not even write all this down, all right? All right. Damn, I still got to write all this. I might just skip it. Yeah. All right. So now this gets a little tricky. They're different. They're whole, basically like learn a whole nother alphabet, right? All right. Wa, sa, ya, la, ma, na, all right. Oh yeah, rock, right? A little thing right there. I'll make that a little longer. All right, we got Sha, which is kind of similar to, and we got Tha, right? So I ain't gonna be too long about it. This is the Assyrian, right? This is Assyrian. But same thing, but the difference is, of course, the big difference is that each character has their own different looking symbol. Also, the big difference is this, that the some things have two, right? This is really because of their Yiddish. In Yiddish, they pronounce stuff totally different than how Hebrew is supposed to be pronounced. So therefore, they got two characters, the beginning and the ending, usually at the end. But also, this helps us out today by letting us know that you won't pronounce the full ka. It would just be whatever, like if it's connected to something, right? You would just pronounce it like together and drop the A, right? But just because it has two characters doesn't mean that any of these could be at the ending as well. A lot of times you see like wa, wa, right? Which is like a meaning multiple. It's also a suffix, feminine suffix for plural, right? But it's a wa and a tha, but it dropped the A, right? So wa. So don't get too confused. Like, well, these don't have an ending connected, so it doesn't. You will never see it drop its last letter, right? What else I'm missing? I think it's pretty much it. Just with that, we're gonna, like I said, this class is about noun, so we're gonna break that down today. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get into the lesson. Am I missing anything? What am I missing? I ain't going. Today's not an origins. You know, you can catch that, but you know, I might break it down a little bit today in class. All right. So now we're gonna start with the basics. What I realize is that when most people are learning a language, you got to understand what is it that we are talking about. We speak English our whole life, and more than half of us didn't really do that good in English. You're like, well, how you don't do good in English? You was raised in that language. It's because we don't know why we talk like this. We really don't. We just know it makes sense. But when anybody wants to learn a new language, they have to learn the linguistics, what's that word I'm looking for? The parts of speech, right? Meaning what's a noun, what's this, what's that. So sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and try to skip the basics. So what is a noun, right? A noun. What is a noun? It's a person, place, or thing, right? You got an example of this. Example. You got a noun. Let me see. Let me see something you already know. Just give me one. Huh? The store? Give me one with a Hebrew. Let's see. What's the Hebrew word you hear more often as a noun? Like Saran, right? Which is what? Right? She says Saran. That's the one she hears. Saran, which is captain, right? Right? Saran. Right? That's captain. That's a noun, person, place, a thing. A very easy one. I like always using this because it's right. Abba, right? Which is what? Father, right? Which is a noun, right? Right? Abba. What you realize is I just wrote these things underneath is because to let you know how to say it. So I know Oz by itself and Saz by itself and Ra and Nas together. So I'm gonna drop the A at the end of Na. So what I get is Saran, right? What you want to understand, the hardest thing about Hebrew, what you're gonna find out is how to really say it fluently. What I mean by that, you know this is Sa, you know this is Ra, right? You know this is Na. It's not Saran, right? It's not like that. You don't want to say it like with the pause. It's Saran. You don't want the pause. You want to say it where it sounds fluently, like Saran. Abba, right? Say it like we speak any other word. Like any other word, and they taught us about how many is it not when you be like syllables, right? So give me a word. Give me any word. English, right? I don't pronounce it English. English. Even though it got two syllables, I pronounce it English, right? Which is the whole reason why we gotta go like this to find out how many it is, because we say it so fluently, we kind of don't know, right? So that's what you have right here. Noun is a person, place, or thing. What also is one? A tree, which is, let me see. I already had it. I'm pretty sure it's Itazah, but I don't want to write. Yeah, Itazah, the tree, right? Itazah, which is a tree, right? Is that a person, place, or thing? Yep, so that means it's a noun. Also, we have Tazah, right? Tazah is the longest one you're going to see, but we just broke that down, right? It's not Ta and Zah. But people are like, well, if you always see this together, Ta and Zah, it's not a Ta and Zah, right? It's always Tazah, right? Captain Tazariak, his name is not, you don't spell it with Ta and Zah. It's Tazah, right? So that's Itazah, which is tree. Very understanding, right? Now, every noun, right? Let's see this. I'm going to erase this, right? Every noun in Hebrew is, okay, when you speak, how you say in Spanish to say man is what? El hombre, right? Now, not how you say the woman, but what is woman in Spanish? You hear, right? Now, how do you say the woman? La. Why not El? Because it's feminine. So Hebrew got feminine and masculine as well. We have feminine nouns and masculine nouns. And the majority of the time, Hebrew language is a masculine language. So of course, there's more masculine words than feminine words, right? So one good example is tree. We just had on down, right? Itazah is tree, right? Itazah is tree, and this is masculine. But what you also have is, let me get it real quick. I just had it. It is, now they have it for wind. This is another topic we can get onto, but for the sake of it, where is it at? Slovakia. Oh, there you go, right here. Wind, right? So wind, Rakah, wind is feminine already, right? But guess what? All right. Ooh. All right. You're going to add you missing what you missing? The full wow, right? Mm-hmm. So that means these two are connected, right? Boom. Now what's that? Ka, right? Now, this is feminine. What this word look familiar? Rakah. This word also used in the scriptures is spirit. So he said he got the Holy Spirit. That's what it is showing. Let me look this up real quick. Something for y'all. Boom, boom, boom. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So just want to double check something. Salakia. But just like I said, so you have this right here, Rakah, right? Rakah. I think the reason why I say that because we say in a prayer. I give it to y'all, but this one is feminine, right? Now, this is how it is. Some words are masculine, some words are feminine, right? Wind is just a feminine word. Tree, wind, which is also spirit, right? Which is spirit. You got masculine and feminine, right? So now we know what? Now you have nouns is a person, place, or thing, and each noun is either masculine or feminine, right? Now, what is a simple noun? Mm-hmm. Huh? Sun? No. Okay, let me get to it. A simple noun in Hebrew, right, is a word that is 2 or 3 letters or characters from its root word. Meaning that words derive from what? Words. So simple nouns are like things that's taken. So I might have a full word, and I'm just going to take 2 characters from that and make an own word. That's a simple noun, right? I'm not going to cover too much of that. I don't want to confuse nobody because you don't have to really understand that because when you see a noun, it's a noun. But we're going to understand that certain nouns derive from what? Other nouns. When I say that, you got to start being creative. Okay. You know what I'm saying? What do I mean by that? You have ah, which means what? Strength. What is an ah? What is this symbol right here? What is this symbol? An ox. What is this symbol? There's a house, right? Right? Then this is an ox. This means strength. Home, right? Ah, Abba means what? Father. Why?
He is the strength of the home.
He is the strength of the home. If you want to first destroy a strong man's goods, you have to first bind the strong man. Why? Because he is the strong man of the what? The house. He is Abba. That's what father is, right? Simple, right? I love using this, but because when you see things like when you see languages always get more complex, right? Back then, walking around, Adam came up with the language, only had a couple of things he could name. Simple things like I know that's a father. Okay, that's a father. That's the Abba. Is he strong? You get what I'm saying? Later on in life, he started getting crazy. He started naming stuff crazy things like stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what you feel like is the first Hebrew words like for the Strongs are like this would be like one. Let me see. Strongs. Let me see if I got it right here. I'm pretty sure it's one. Yeah, Strong's Abba's number is one. Why? Because it's the first two characters make the first. You know what I'm saying? Now from that, you start seeing how words start getting more. Like you can see, okay, they got this from that. They got this from that. We're gonna break that down with such one like a key in a door. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna break that down today. So what else we got? Now we got prefixes, infixes, or suffixes, right? So prefixes, infixes, and suffixes can be added to each word to make what? New words. That's what I just broke down, right? So this is not I missed one. We have proper nouns too. What's a proper noun? A name, right? So give me a name. Let me see. She said Gabar, which is it could be a name, right? Warrior.
Oh, number one. No.
Gabar is a warrior, which is also wouldn't be
We'll do the data.
wouldn't be such much of. You could use it as a noun. If I call somebody a warrior, it's a noun, right? Because a warrior is a thing, right? But I could have Gabar Ya'ala, which is a proper noun, right? Which in English transforms to Gabriel, right? Which is warrior of God, right? Allah is a short thing. Is Allah's power, right? Yah is an informal. One thing about Hebrew is of is always implied, right? Of is implied, right? Yah would be an informal way. Is informal. What do I mean by informal? Mean Yah doesn't mean God, but what you see is what you see Yah in a lot of names, because what's the Lord's name? Yahweh. So this goes down to taking certain characters from other words and putting it into a word. We have one. Somebody had a name. Let me get my name thing. Somebody had a name. I'm not gonna waste time with it. Okay, so basically, when you're creating names and the names, I don't have it for me, but I forgot off the top of my head. One of the 12 tribes, one of the names, right? It has a prefix in there because it's showing. I don't want to say.
Is down there?
Huh?
Is it yeah?
Banyam Yun, right? Benjamin, son of the right hand, right? The right hand would be Yam Yan, right? Right? Yam Yan, Yad, right hand. Hand is Yad in Hebrew, right? But they started it down. Yam Yan can also just be hand, right hand, right? So Ban Yam Yan, son of the right, son of the right hand. You know what I'm saying? When you're creating names, things don't have to be formal. It could be informal, taking characters from another word. You know what I'm saying? Short things like slang. Yeah. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? That's how Hebrew is. Why? Because it's all language is for Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and that's how we talk. That's just how we talk, right? And somebody in the scripture, his name was, I forgot what his name is, but it's translated and meant worm. Right? Like, we don't want to be named Worm. But Worm, why his name was Worm? Because that's what people called him. That'd be like, just like in today, we call that boy, like you would call somebody Slim Jim. You know what I'm saying? You call them names like, and they grew up in. You know what I'm saying? So they call that boy Worm. Like off of Friday, right? It was Friday, right? He had the Jerry curl. That was Worm. Big Worm. Something like that. Big Worm. Let me see. I'll make sure I'm saying it right. No, what's on Game of Thrones? Yeah, Big Worm Friday. Game of Thrones, the Grey Worm. Who's Grey Worm? Who? Oh yeah, the Unsullied Grey Worm. They call him Grey Worm. How about I say? Grey Worm or the Unsullied of Game of Thrones, right? You watch Game of Thrones. So now you got proper names. Shemai Wan is a proper name. Shemai Wan, Gadai Wan, Gabar Yala, Yahadia, Yahawabat, Kabar, Karab, Yatazak. Everybody walking around. Now SBK, we got the Hebrew name. That's a proper noun. But what is also a proper noun are places. What is Egypt called? Anybody remember? You remember? Yeah, what's the name of Egypt? Matazarium. Matazarium is Egypt. That's also what? No, not that so much, but what is it? A place. It's a proper noun, right? Yasha'Allah is what? But it's what? But it's also what? A place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things like I wish I had the name for Jerusalem, but places like Jerusalem have their own name. You know what I'm saying? Bethlehem have their own name, which is like something of bread, right? Those are proper nouns. Places have, when the reason is name and places because a place has a name. You understand? A place have a name. All right. Now we have a construct, which is basically what we just broke down. Right? So a construct is, let me erase this. A construct is 201 nouns. Remember, these are just basic understandings what we're going to be breaking down later, right? You understand? So we can do a whole class on constructs, examples and usages, because constructs are 2 or more nouns joined together to form one, which is usually very common and proper nouns, right? So we have, let's look it up. So right now, boom. Let me see. So Melchizedek, right? His name was King of Peace. Let me write this down for everybody. Let me get back on StreamYard. All right. So construct, right? Construct. 2 or more nouns to equal 1. i.e., usually common and proper names. All right? And proper names that we just broke down, Gabar Yala, warrior of God. Now, construct nouns is not just this word and that word. Usually things are being dropped, which we just broke down, right? Let me see if I could get what happened. Kahan Gabar.
But it has a space in it.
Yeah. So no. If his name, because
Or like Rosanna Yash. You know, like those.
no, those are just two separate people. Names can have two separate words. They're not joined together.
Yeah.
A lot of things with God in them is a good example, like Gabar Yala. What's another one on top of my head? Melchizedek is a good one. Why? Because Melchizedek his name, they call him the King of Peace, right? Melchizedek, because his name is King, which is what? Huh? King in Hebrew is what?
Oh,
Malak. What is peace in Hebrew? Shalom. So when we used to translate his name right there, you would see those two words in his name to form what? One thing. You know what I'm saying? Not too much on that because we will have more to cover today. That's basically what a construct is, right? I wanted to get it for y'all. Let me see if I can get it. Genesis 14 and 18. All right. Okay, not King of Peace, right? But top. So this is his name, right? Melchizedek, right? Did I spell this right? This is how you spell it in they translate it, right? Melchizedek, right? Which means king of righteousness, right? That's what it means. King of righteousness. Now, that's how they write EOU. SNES. King of righteousness, right? So what is king? Malak, right? So we have, boom. Can we write it in Assyrian or what? We'll write it in the ancient. Let's write it in ancient for the people. Well, I'm on Blue Letter Bible. Sometimes you just see, so I'm looking for Melchizedek name, if anybody know. So I just go on Blue Letter Bible in the Strong's Concordance to see. But as you see on the Strong's Concordance, it's in Assyrian. For y'all, I'm going to write it in ancient, right? So we have, you said what? Malak? Right? So Malak, this is king. Righteous. Or justice, right? Same thing, right? Uses different words, right? Tazadak, Tazadak, righteousness, justice, right? King of is implied. You don't have to have a Hebrew word for of. King, right? Of righteousness. This right here, we'll be talking about later in class, not in this class, but another class, about how we use that to connect those, right? Understand?
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to get forward to in later lessons.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Malak, Ya, Tazadak. Malak, Ya, Tazadak. Right? All right, let's get that going. So these are all basic principles that we're going through. Now, I don't know if I want to. We always do the prefixes, but they need to be done. All right. I just hate writing them over and over again, right? I need to have it just on the board, but all right, prefixes of nouns, right? So I'm gonna write them up here, right? They're not gonna be in no particular order. I didn't write them down in no particular order, right? I'm gonna try to for the sake of this. Not every character could be a prefix. That's what I said. Hawa. La. I got ba already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ma. Ka. Sha. What else I'm missing? Ya and Tha. Ya and Tha. All right. And these are prefixes, right? I do. Nope, that's not right. In or with, right? Da is what? Do. Ha is the, right? Wa and everybody know that one. That was like the easiest one. La,
2, 4.
2 and 4. Ma, of, from. Ka, as like. Sha, which pertaining to, right? Ya, he, that's an easier one too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And Tha, thou or thee, right? Right. So these are prefixes that could go in front of nouns, not only nouns. I could go in front of, verbs, right? Not each one will make sense if it just goes in front of a noun, but it can, right? For example, you could conjoin. You also could join together, right? Which one I want to use? So a rataza, you know what a rataza mean? A rataza, which is land. All right. Write that down in Hebrew real quick. All right. See how simple it is when you write it in Hebrew? You would think it'd be like someone's character, right? Which is land. So if I want to say in the land, how do I say it?
And the land? Why?
Mhm. You say it's Wa Ratazan?
And
And the land. How do I say that?
okay, yeah. Waha. 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 Aratazan.
And this, right? This is Wa. This is Ha. This comes from Wa and Ha the. You can connect them, right? Right? Now, A, like A, right? And or A, right? Is not really translated in Hebrew, right? So it's like kind of like is implied, right? So with that, I'm gonna give you a test. All right, let's see if y'all can get it. It's tricky, I ain't gonna lie. It's King's English, so right. Reason why is A or because some people just don't talk like that. Like you want to be like, give me a. You would in today's terms, you say, give me a soda, right? Back then, you'd be like, give me soda. It's like barbaric, like give me soda. You know what I'm saying? Which is why people talk like that when they're trying to talk in English after they talk from an ancient language, right? They're like, give me soda. You know what I'm saying? It's like, where's the A at? Give me a soda. No, it's not implied. It's implied because we're translating from this language to that language. And it's one thing I understood. We're teaching these Hebrew classes based off of English. So if I spoke Chinese, right, they would be breaking down this Hebrew in a different way. They would be breaking it down where? In their language. Understand that. That's very important. Because some languages don't break it down how we break it down. Because if I was teaching the Hebrew in the Spanish, I'd be breaking it down differently. Right? If I was teaching, like I said, in the Chinese, like I don't know too much about them languages, but I don't know if they in their language they don't say a or of is implied. So this totally will make sense to them. Right? The more ancient the language is, the more it makes sense. Right? So now, if I want to say in a land, right? All right. So in the land, so what would this be? Baha Ratazah, right? But in the land, what if I told you that's translated the right way as this? Is in the land, in a land, the same thing? Yeah, in the land, right? But it goes like this, right? Because in Hebrew, majority of the time it will have the subject matter already being spoke about, or majority of the time it will mention it. So it says in a land, it will name the land. In a land, Matazarayim, in the land of Egypt. But in the land, Matazarayim. So we're gonna break that. We're gonna actually do that today, right? So if that's in the land, in a land, now it's tricky. So what is the right way how to say this in Hebrew? This is the same thing. This equals the same thing. Ba'aratazah. Get us in the hand. That's it. Let me double check. What's ba at? N. Okay. You right. Huh? Right. Now, how would I say in the land of Israel?
You just say Yashral.
You
just say Yashral.
Right. So Ba'aratazah. Ba'arat. What the hell? Ba'arat. You got me. I ain't checking what I'm writing. I'm writing a whole different word up here. Shar is Prince. Yeah. Yasha'Allah, right? Shar. Sharyala, Prince of the Power, Prince of God. That's gonna be my next son name, probably. I like that. Sharyala. Anyways, right? Yasha'Allah. Ba'aratazah, Yasha'Allah in the land of Israel. Why is there no of? Because it's implied. In the land Israel. Right? Now, plurals, right? Leave this up here. Plurals, right? Another class we give a whole other topic on, right? Because you will also have plural nouns, right? Right now we're going to be talking about, all right. Anyways, simple, you got yam, right? Yam and, no, right? What's yam? Masculine. Akyam.
Oh, yes.
Right? Yan. No. What is the equivalent to the plurals for a noun? Think about it.
What?
I'm not saying yan is not so much of it's used for women, but it's not the plural for a noun. For you know what I'm saying?
Is it what?
Yes, it's what. Give me an example of yan. Aquatian?
Yes, because that's sisters with S. No? What is it?
Right? Right? Mm-hmm. So that's feminine, right? Wat and young, feminine, masculine, right? Now, some words already have it, right? Now this is for plural nouns, right? So Akyam, right? If it like winds, we just write down wind, right? Which is Rakawa, right? Would be that example. Now you said yan, right? So that is also a plural, right? But the reason why we could put it up here, but it's not the first go-to. It's like if I was to write, okay, when I start writing suffixes, you're gonna understand. Because so for example, brothers, this is why I'm gonna break it down like this. See if it makes sense, right? So you have Akyam, you have Ak, which is brother. Akwa is what? Sister. With no S. So would it be Akwathwath?
No.
Would it be Akwathiyum?
No.
So what is it? Agwathian. Give you another hint. What is?
What you can't double up? You can't double up your thing.
No.
So you want to do what?
You wouldn't do Akwathwath.
No.
Stupid. Right. So, for example, we start going to possessive pronouns, which is suffixes, right? You have one suffix. I don't know if you remember, which is what?
Suffix.
Okay, so these are plural. Huh?
What is a suffix?
Well, com and con. Com is what? No, but what is it? Masculine, right?
Yeah.
And con is feminine. You know why? Because ma and na is a suffix as well. But it's not the full ma and na. is the ones that it's the connecting to whatever word it is. And that suffix itself is there and them. There and them. So ma is there and them feminine. I mean masculine, which is why you see yum. Now you have what you referencing yan is because it can't be yum. Yum is masculine. So we would say yan. But Hebrew is an order of things, meaning, you know, if you ever seen, if you don't know, if it's not this, go to this. If it's not this, go to that. That's how Hebrew works. So you see, well, akwath, we can't put akwath. So, okay, akwath yum, but it can't be because it's a feminine. Sisters is feminine. So we have to do akwath yan. Like we say this. Baraka da. That's to who? Huh? One, right? To you. Ata, you. Baraka dam is to you all. Brothers. Right? So what is to you all sisters? Hmm? Huh? Yahweh Shema Dan. That's also feminine. But those are suffixes. We're going to do the same thing for plural as well. But think about this right now, right? Yam and Wa, this is your go-to, right? So if I have winds, which is Rakah, Wa, right? It's not Rakah Yun. No, it's not that. But if I have tree, which is a masculine word, Itazah Yum. Now, why can use for masculine words as well? So when you see wath on a masculine word, what does that mean?
Is the under that name?
It's like dominion or like right. It could be dominion or how would I want to say it? I'm trying to basically break it down. Dominion over or things that's plural but doesn't pertain to you. Meaning a man can have multiple fathers. Right? He only have one father. But there could be a group of fathers. Right? So it's a group of dominion. A group or dominion, because dominion is a group. Because king, what's a kingdom? Is a group. Right? So we write it down right here. Right? Then which is you add an S to it, which is father. Fathers or kingdom. All right, kingdom, a dominion or a group. That's when you could use wath on a masculine word. When you, of course, you know, and when using a masculine word, it's not the same as when using a feminine word, right? Because although it's saying fathers, I know it's talking about a group of people, right? All right. Oh, yeah, these are plurals, right? Now, let me see, y'all. Let me see. We're gonna end it off with this. End it off with this idea. Right? Some words, some nouns are always written in a plural sense. Why is that? Nope. Let's see. See, I'm trying to give it. I'm not okay. Let's see. That's plural. This is not, right? Sky is not plural. Sky is not plural, so why is it plural in Hebrew? This is when they talk about linguistics and culture. This is why culture really matters in the language, which is why people don't understand how we talk, because we use, but if I say something like, if somebody calls something, it's like you call something, the formal word, not the formal. White people will call something, but black people will call it something else. I wish I had one off the top of my head. Right? For example?
It's like when you say, like, white people say alcoholic beverage, but we'd be like, we're gonna have us a drink.
Something like that. So there's a way of, it's a,
like I say strong drink.
Yeah, like we say strong drink, or we call that strong drink. Or like some people call it soda, but you call it pop. Those names, if I just put them in front of me, I would never correlate the two. Yeah. Pop means something wholly different. Soda means what that is. Yeah. But the word in our culture we use for it. Okay, so in today's time, is it fair to say that soda is the correct way of saying it? They will have soda on the can. Yeah. But people from the Midwest, up north, they say pop, meaning their definition of this thing is pop. And the second definition will be soda. Yeah. So here we have sky. Now I'm gonna give you a hint. It's some Shemayim. Okay, wait, hold up. Water. Yeah. Why? So what is the first definition? They call it. There you go. This is heavens. That's why. We call the sky. We call the sky the heavens. Yeah. And it's multiple heavens. And in the scriptures, the script is three different, right? It's like three different heavens we talk about, right? In context, right? Mm-hmm. You have the heaven in the sky. You have the heaven, the Most High dwells, right? You have heaven. It could be a state, as in like, kingdom of heaven, like good rulership. You can have the space. Come and talk about the space, right? Now, heavens, right? Yeah. That's our culture. I'm over here looking in the heavens right now. We never said look into the sky. Okay. We said look into the heavens. That's all pop, right? Uh-huh. It's not heavens, bro. It's sky. No, it's heavens. But why is heavens S? Right now, people will talk like this in heaven. They say in heaven, right? But we say it's in the heavens. Why? Because the Lord in the scripture, in Genesis, give you a huge hint. In Genesis, it says what? He separated the waters from the waters. Okay. And in the scriptures, it always talked about the waters, but it was talking about the sky as well sometimes. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the sky, and just like in space and the water here got the same qualities. Birds birds and fish both came out through the literal water. Birds swim through the heavens, fish swim through the water. right? So we break this word down. Shema, right, is what? Water, right? Heavens, waters. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know Hebrew culture for that. So that's heavens. This is why this is always plural. Sky is always plural, right? Now, also about this. Why is that plural? Because in Hebrew, what is this?
Well, that's just talking about like angels and stuff. Like
Ain't what?
Angels?
Angel. What? Judges?
Yeah.
Because they translated it to a singular word, which is a plural word. And what's our culture? That's how we get certain words always being plural. Because God, if that's a straight cut. Straight cut. Knowing your culture is a straight cut for people, because we're going to Genesis and I see Elohim. Well, I know Yam is goddamn plural. Now who the hell is in there? There's only one, right? It's like, it gotta be, it's only the Most High God is doing it. But we see Elohim, so that means it was powers, more than one power. The angels. And he knows the angels because the angels, and when it said, and he saw and it was good. So why? Because the Lord, it's like this. It's like if I say, but people don't understand, but the Lord, when they said the Lord spoke to him, the Lord ain't never got off his throne. And nobody's seen the Lord talk to him, right? But if I say Barack Obama killed Osama bin Laden, did he get up and kill? They'd be like, yeah, but did he get off his throne and kill Osama bin Laden? No, who did? His dominion, his kingdom, his people. And that represents him. That's how the Lord works. He sent his angels, and when Moses talked to the Lord, he was talking to an angel, a messenger of the Lord. But that's him talking to the Lord. The Lord did create the world, but he sent people out to do it. He did it, right? That's how we get what we got right here. And that right there, my friend, is the part one of the nouns. Because next week, we're going to go down to more pronouns and the possessive pronouns and joining those prefixes and suffixes together, some vocabulary, and some noun derivatives is a lot to go over. Right? So we learned a lot today. Remember what we learned? We learned about the nouns. We learned about the prefixes. What else? The masculine and feminine, the plurals, what else? Simple nouns, prefixes, infixes. You can have suffixes. Now, possessive suffixes are different from suffixes because suffixes are just characters you can add to another word to make it a word. Possessive suffixes are things saying these are mine, these are ours, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, one example, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to jump the gun. But you have suffixes, infixes, and prefixes. Infixes are things like putting ya in the middle of a word, y in the middle of a word, which will make the word, could make a word a new word, or depending on the context, will make the word ing or ed, past tense, or doing something right now. Or you have the prefixes where you could just add like a ma in front of a word, will make it a whole different word, right? But those are not prefixes like in the right? But words, then you have possessives, suffixes, right? Which is things meaning that this is for us, this is for them. We have plural suffixes. There's a whole different type of suffixes you can have. So you got to like plural suffixes, possessive suffixes, just things that are suffixes, because at the end of the day, each word came from another word, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but if we kept honoring, like, say, like if I add like a ba in front of, if I was saying like Abba, right? Abba, and I had the prefix, it wouldn't be in. You know what I'm saying? It's just a word. So one of the key things we gotta understand is learning a vocabulary, because when you learn vocabulary, you will know the root of the word and see if it has prefixes or suffixes in there. And that's the foundation. So with that, we're gonna give a salute off to my brothers. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Baraka Tham, what we just broke down in class. To the sisters, Yahweh Shema Al Thun, Bahashem Yahushai. All right, shalom.